Hi there, this is Jennifer from Blaine Fleece and Fiber, and I had a request, I think it was a year or so ago, for me to do a series of videos about processing wool to yarn or your wool to fiber that's ready to spin. And so, with the help of my son, who's doing the video, I thought I would do the first one today, which is about skirting. So I have this fleece that I have out here now is from Janie, one of our newer sheep, and she's a Finn sheep. And one thing that's really fun about skirting fleeces and getting your hands in them is that you can see the different colors, the different textures. I've seen pieces in here that look a lot like ruby and garnet, like these grayer parts right here. And then I've seen places where there's a whole lot of crimp in it, which is much more like deer's, who's 3/4 fin. So although this is supposed to be a purebred fin sheep fleece, there's a lot of variations, and you're going to find that with just about any fleece that you buy from any sheep. So the first step when you are going to process a fleece is to skirt it and also to pick it. And I think that those terms kind of get used interchangeably, and so I'm going to tell you what I think they mean. I took a class on skirting and I understand the concept of picking, and so I'm going to explain what I learned and what I think that they mean. Now, you might hear other people use the terms interchangeably or use them in different ways, and that's okay. It doesn't mean they're wrong, it doesn't mean I'm right. This is just what I know. So, when it comes to skirting, what you're looking for is you're looking to get the belly wool, the butt wool, and the neck wool taken out. Because typically on any sheep, regardless of the breed, those are the parts of the body where it's matted and it's dirty. And so if you've bought a raw fleece that hasn't been skirted, you want to get that out. And a lot of times shepherds will just sort of pull those out on their own and call it skirted. And that's okay. You just want to be aware of what you're buying and what the terms, how the shepherd is using those terms. So when I put this out, well, the first thing I noticed is that there's no poop in it. So Tina must have gotten all of the butt wool out, which is really nice. Then I came across this, and if you want to do a close up there, Ian, this is very felted. So I'm guessing that this probably came from her neck. So this, although it's really pretty and it's soft, it's not worth, you can see there's like a lot of short little pieces here, and it's full of VM. So this isn't worth, if you're going for a really clean product without a lot of VM in it, and you want a nice staple length, this really isn't worth worrying about. So I would pull all of that out and set it aside. And those pieces are great if you have a garden and you need mulch or you want to put it around your trees. The wool it's great for conserving water and helping the water just slowly make its way down into your garden or into trees. So it's really good. And plus all of the lanolin and all the poop, if there's any poop in it, all of that is really nutritious for your plants. And so it's good to not just throw it away. Plus birds can use it to make nests, so it's kind of nice just to leave it out. So I would go around and I would find pieces like this, much too short to do anything with and lots of VM in it. And VM is vegetable matter, if you aren't aware of that term. And skirting, so I took a class on skirting, and she said that it shouldn't take you more than a few minutes really to go around and skirt. And I thought, when she said that, I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense because you're not taking the time to get all these little pieces of vegetable matter out. Well, that's because when she talks about skirting, she's talking about quickly going through, deciding what can be salvaged and what can't. These little second cuts and pieces like that, you just want to get rid of those. And making sure you get, like I said, you get the belly wool and the neck wool out. This is some more of that that's just, you can feel it, it's got a lot of dirt and lanolin and stuff in it. And it's pretty matted. So all of this I would chuck off to the side. Yep, that stuff there. Good eye, Ian. So skirting is a quick process where you're determining what are you going to work with. Here's some poop probably, and what is nice that can be picked through and then washed and turned into a beautiful yarn someday. So that's where we get to the difference between the two terms. Skirting is this quick process of pulling out the stuff that cannot be used at all, that you don't want to mess with, second cuts and that. And it really shouldn't take more than, I don't know, I would say 10 minutes tops to skirt. Picking is different. Once you are all done with the skirting and you've gone all the way around your fleece and you've looked all through it and you make sure that what you have on your table is what you truly want to spin with someday or turn into yarn, then you go through and pick. And that's where you're actually taking out all of the VM. And I like to do it in very small bits. So I will pick up a piece like that and I'll focus on that. And I will just, these bigger pieces of VM, those I will pull out. Anything that's sharp, like a little burr or something, I want to make sure that I get that out so that I don't have that going through my drum carder or my hand combs or cards. Little tiny pieces, you can see, I mean, these are pretty small. You can pick as much as you want. If you want to spend an hour or two getting every single little bit out, then I say go for it. My back can't take that much time. So what I will want to do, I'll look at this and I'll say, okay, there's a hayseed. I'm going to pull that hayseed out because I can get to it pretty easily, theoretically. Famous last words. Little bits of dandruff and little tiny bits of seeds. I'm not going to worry too much about that because it's going to come out when I wash it and it's going to come out when I card it. So then I get this, nice little bit done here and I put that in a bag and get it out of the way. That way, I found when I was trying to pick through a fleece once and I was trying to do it all in front of me, I would get distracted and I would say, oh gosh, I've got to get all this out. And oh, but look at all this. There's all this over here too. So I have to do it in small chunks or I just get too distracted. So that's the difference. Skirting, like I said, going through quickly, finding the things that really cannot be used, things that are matted, things that have poop on them. Sometimes you'll see something that looks a little bit matted. Here's an example. This stuff, initially it looks pretty matted. Then I kind of started pulling it apart. And that is some nice lock structure there. And it's got beautiful crimp. So this I will probably go ahead and hang on to because it's not felted. If it's totally been felted to the animal, there's no point to that. I mean, unless you are just determined to use every single bit of that fleece, I don't think it's worth it personally. Picking though is much more labor intensive and it's getting all of the VM out and getting it ready to scour. So I hope that helps. I think there's confusion and just people using the terms kind of interchangeably, like I said. Doesn't make it wrong, but sometimes it makes it hard to understand what you're buying. If you're in the market for a raw fleece and it says that it's been skirted, then you can't assume that that means all of these pieces of VM have been taken out. If a shepherd is saying it's been skirted, then you just need to assume it's had the belly, neck, and butt wool taken off. If they say that it's been skirted and picked, then you should expect to pay more for it, but also you should be expecting to receive a very nice, clean fleece. It's always a good idea to talk to the shepherd, and if possible, go to their farm, see how they keep their animals, look at a bunch of different fleeces and see what they have available. But keep those terms in mind. And if you have questions, you're welcome to leave comments after this video. My next one will be about scouring, and I'll hopefully be putting that out in the next couple of weeks. All right, thanks for watching, and please be sure to check out BlainFleeceandFiber.com. I've got some beautiful rovings in there right now from the Fellow Sheep. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.